Hi everybody, welcome to About Town, a program dedicated to keeping you up to date with all the happenings in your town. We'll get started after this. For 4 generations, Wilkin Heating and Air Conditioning have been servicing Southern Ohio with reliable and dependable Lennox equipment, parts, and service. Wilkin Heating and Air Conditioning, service and equipment you can trust for generations to come. About Town is also sponsored by Rick's Body Shop at Allensburg. All types of body work, custom painting, body and frame repair, and so much more. Call Rick Wilkin at 937-364-2371, 937-364-2371, 937-364-2371. Hi everybody, on this edition of About Town, I'm going to be talking with the gang from the Southwest Ohio Farm Toy Collectors Club. And immediately to my left is the young man, it's David, not Dan, Faber, right?
That's correct.
Okay, and I've practiced on that for a long time.
Oh, good deal.
Yeah, because I got it wrong the last time. And then Charlie Walker is with us, and then Mel Hawk is with us. And I'm going to, David, I'm just going to let you take off and tell the function of each person, and let's talk a little bit about the club.
Good deal. All right. Again, my name is David Falber, and I'm currently the president of the club. The club's been around since 1986. We can look at Charlie's hat. And we have about 30 active members right now that meets the first Tuesday of every month out at the Danville Church of Christ. And it's just a group of guys and gals and some children that just want to talk about the enjoyable hobby of farm toy collecting for various different reasons. We each have a different reason that we're involved with it, but that's what my role is. And Charlie, I'll let him talk a little bit about himself and how he's involved with the club, and then Mel, you can take over.
Yeah, Charlie, you're one of the founding fathers, aren't you?
Yes, there was 5 of us founded in 1986.
Yeah.
And I'm a retired everything now.
Yeah.
In fact, I even sold my collection. I got a few small ones, but I sold my big collection to Barber Boys down in Danville, or
Right.
Fayetteville. And I just go and be involved right now.
Yeah, yeah. And how large is your collection now? I know you say you just have a few.
I've got about 50 or 75 of the 164 stuff.
Oh, do you?
And I sold probably 4,000 or 5,000 to.
Wow.
And they put it up in a barn down there. It's a museum-like thing.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the business behind this too. But anyway, we'll get into that in just a little bit. But Mel, tell us about how you got involved.
Well, I had a son that was in an accident, and he was kind of tied down. He was in a wheelchair for a little bit, and he kind of got down on himself, but he always loved collecting with the tractors, and we kind of started out with the 1/64th scale, which is what I have here, and Charlie has here in this stack here. Talking to another founding father, Jim Gorman, which I worked with his daughter, we kind of started talking about the collecting and the meetings and the hobbies and the National Farm Toy Show. So he got our interest, and I took him to the meeting, and it's just been kind of history from there. We took a trip out to Iowa, and as you can see, this is the 2018 National Farm Toy Show. This is an actual 1/16th scale tractor here in the box, and this is the International 886, and then this is the same tractor, only the 1/16th scale here. So there's a various size. If you don't think you have a lot of space and you want to still collect those toys, you can go with the 1/64 scale, or if you've got a lot of space like the barn or a shop, you can go with the larger 1/16th scale. But
So when we talk about 1/16th, we're talking about 1/16th of the original size.
correct,
Of the original tractor.
correct.
Now, it was really interesting. Charlie's got the big buds
Yes.
And as I understand it, you're a collector of big buds too.
I do. I have the 16th, 32nd, and the 64th scale of the tractor here that Charlie's holding. This is the 16 volt 747 900 horsepower tractor that the Williams brothers made out in Havre, Montana. It still is the largest tractor ever built. So this is kind of where I got my boy involved, because when I was in high school, my mom and dad went out to Montana and we seen this real deal tractor in person, and I got my picture taken with them and stuff. And so my son was kind of going through, and YouTube, you gotta love YouTube and all these new apparatuses. He seen videos of this tractor working, and he come home to tell me, Mom, did you know that there was a tractor made with an airplane engine in it? And I said, oh yeah, that was a Big Bud 747. And he's like, you know about that? So that was the day I kind of earned bonus points as a mom.
Yeah.
But I had to bring those out. So that's where it was dear to my heart to have that collection of the Big Buds.
Well, now the only way to play with these toys is get on your knees, just like we did when we were kids. But this is a 1/64th scale, and just to show you how big the Big Bud is, this is a 1/64th scale of an International
886.
886, and look at the difference in the sizes. These are both the same scale, but different tractors. That is incredible. I mean,
Yes.
that's kind of eye-opening right there.
Yes.
It really is. Now,
Do you need help up there?
I do need help getting up.
How much is getting down there ready to pray?
I just remember, there's a story that goes with that too. I got down to pray with somebody yesterday, and I thought, dear God, please let me get up.
Let my knees work. The other thing I want to say is Mel is our secretary of the club
Yes.
too.
Oh, okay.
So she kind of, get her going, you can't get her started. She does a really fine job with that,
Thank
and
you.
appreciate it very much.
Well, that's good. She represents you well. Tell me about your collection here, David.
Oh, I brought in 3 of the 1/16 scale, and these were the tractors that when I grew up as a kid on the farm. You got a 9N Ford there
Yeah.
that kept my teeth on driving, and then have a Alice Chalmers WD that my dad had. That was my dad's first new tractor, and that was my grandpa's
Now,
tractor.
this is actually the 45, isn't it?
No, this is, that is a 45. There was relatively a little difference in the 45 and the WD. I think there was a little difference in the
About
rear end
5
of the
horsepower, wasn't
transmission.
there?
Yeah.
I believe so, about 5 horsepower.
The biggest thing other than the decal was the gear shift on it was bent on a WD 45, and a WD was straight. So that's really, I spent a lot of hours on that. Of course, it didn't have power steering or anything. So pulling a big 10-foot disc out in the field all day long on freshly plowed ground,
It beat you to death, wouldn't it?
get off the end of the day and you couldn't even raise your arms. And then Dad really stepped up big time. He bought a 720, a used one there, and that was a power plant. He really enjoyed that, and all 3 of those tractors are still, the 2 there. My nephew's got the 9N, the WD still out the farm, and Mom passed the 720 on to me, and I had it restored back by Van Smart back many years ago.
Yeah.
So I still have that. It doesn't get out in the field, but it makes it up to the antique tractor show each year at the fairgrounds. So I still have that and on display. So that's kind of where I got connected with those 3, and those have significant meaning to me. Never being made any living on the farm, just raised up on a dairy farm.
Sure.
So that's my connection back through this farm toy collecting hobby.
Well, now, tell me, there's some opportunities for people to get up close and personal to what you all are doing. I mean, you've got some shows coming up and all that. Why don't you tell us about that?
We the Toy Club has a show in August, the 16th of this year. For many, many years, we had it at the Highland County Fairground, but a few of us is getting a little age on us and it's harder to set tables up. So we've connected up with the White Oak FFA organization down in Morristown. And through a donation of some tables to them and an agreement, they're allowing us to use their gymnasium down there for our show this year. That's the biggest news we want to get out is, and there'll be flyers and Facebook that people need to be aware that we're going down there. It's a bigger venue. We're going to be able to have some of the youth have dioramas set up, farm displays. It's air conditioning. I didn't think about that, but it is air conditioned down there. August can get kind of hot at the fairgrounds.
Somebody was thinking.
It happened.
It all come together.
Came together. So that's the biggest thing. And then the White Oak alumni, they have a show down at Morristown, the same venue in February. It has been on Valentine's Day
So it's the
weekend.
second.
So they have a nice show. So you can come out and it's amazing to see people walk through and you'll hear this whole thing. Well, I had one of those when I was a kid. And it's worth what now?
Yeah.
Some of those have appreciated pretty well. But as you and I spoke, if you're wanting to get into this hobby to think you're going to make money, forget about it. I mean, you got to do it for the fun of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a business behind this. It's the strategy. I mean, you have to know what you're looking at. You have to know what the market is. And you have to know when to buy and when to sell if you're going to sell.
Right.
You don't sell.
You don't sell.
No.
But you did.
Yeah, Charlie.
No, I didn't. I did, but I didn't. I still own that down there. Every time I go in there, I say, this is yours.
I know
We tried to sell it again, see how that goes.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work.
I didn't think so.
we have several members. We probably have a half a dozen that do go around and set up as dealers. Charlie and his cousin Jim Walker, you guys were in the actual toy business for how many years?
Probably 20.
20 or so. They had quite the setup with an enclosed trailer, and they set up at a lot of shows. And we still have a few club members that are doing that, not quite as many as at once. But
it's fascinating. I think that there are so many facets of toy collecting that a person could find their interest in just about any area. What else? Yes, Charlie.
What I suggest, I had a guy the other day, I'd like to get in toy collections. The thing to do is come to our toy meeting, because we bring in displays and we give away door prizes, that's toys. And you could come to Toy Club and get a lot of interest right there.
And when is Toy Club?
Tuesday night, first Tuesday of every month, 7 o'clock at Danville Church.
At the Danville Church.
Church of Christ.
Okay. Right on 138.
138 right there.
Okay.
Yeah, and the club, want to point out we're more than just about the toys and stuff. I mean, that's what's brought us together. But we like to be ambassadors also out of the community. A good bunch of people over the years, and some of the things that we've done is, we give donations. Our member fee is really high. It's like $10 a year, which is what it was in 1986. So
well, everything else goes up, so that's got to go up too.
Well,
It hasn't.
We got plenty of money.
It hasn't. It won't. But we have raffles every meeting, stuff like that. So we gather money throughout the year, and we like to donate. You were involved with the Society for Children and Adults, and we donate in the name of Larry Wheatley, who was a longtime club member, and actually on his passing, he donated a big portion of his collection to the club by way of an auction. And I mean, we've given a subscription to the Highland County Library for the Toy Tractor magazine, Farmer magazine. We do stuff like the women's group there at the Danville Church of Christ. We'll donate $500 to them Christmas time to give the needy, because they can distribute that. So,
And also, we helped the church in acquiring an AED equipment so that, we can take it. It's there at the church.
Right.
and then we can take it to our shows if an emergency was to happen. It's more than just the tractors, it's the fellowship.
Right.
That is the
And
common
there's a benevolent
thread.
side to it also.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I think it's fascinating, and if people would like to get involved, I encourage them to come out the first Tuesday of each month at the Danville Church of Christ. What time?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
And we're usually there hour and a half, what, depends on how long it takes me to run some of them out, because once they get together, they like to talk.
Well, it's, what is it they say about toys? The big boys, the size of the toys.
Yeah.
Not necessarily though,
Right.
because we've got the little toys here, and as you can see on this big kid, I'm fascinated. So I don't know.
Yeah, he's in the club because he's got his own right
Oh
there
yeah,
out
I
front.
got my own right
You didn't
here.
tell us about your 806.
Well, because I thought it was like a 143, 66, 92. And my farmall expertise only goes up through about the 450 farmalls. And then after that, when they went beyond that, they lost me. But I did get this 806. This came from the Ag is Everyone's Business that the Chamber of Commerce put on. And John Phipps signed this. He was the guest speaker one year at the event, and he signed that for me. And I forget how I came to get it. I don't know whether I won it. I'm too cheap to buy it, but maybe I did. Maybe I did.
One of your weaker moments.
One of my weaker moments.
Herb, if people worries about old men playing with toys, we've got to go through our second childhood, and that's where we're at.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. What is it they say that it is a requirement to get older, but not to grow up.
That's right.
right.
So that's where I am. So anyway, folks, I want to thank you so much for being with us and sharing with us. And hopefully this will pique somebody's interest, and they'll want to get involved too.
Good deal.
All right, thank you so much. And thank you so much for visiting with us on About Town.
Hi, I'm Amanda Hall, branch manager of the People's Bank in Hillsborough, Ohio. I'm happy to be serving Highland County with their financial needs and supporting the community. I'd love to have an opportunity to sit down with you and talk about your banking needs as well.